In the ceremony called Goma, the flames that burn the gomagai, or the tree that symbolizes knowledge, blaze impetuous and proudly. They burn the impurities, they burn the wishes and desires, they even burn the soul. The flame burns all of it, and so everything is reborn again. And so the Shugendo, or the practitioner of Shugendo, tries to reach the state of Buddha. At midnight, the temperature gets to about 0 degrees, and during this deep freezing temperature, they repeat the sigyo, or the practice of the water, that is repeated frequently. We have come here to learn and to find out why they do these practices and religious mortifications. We are here to be close to Shugendo. It is one of the toughest that is done in the temple of Sanjuin, headquarters of the Shugen religion, the temple of Sogo in Matsui, the area of Sanjuin. We are in Tonigon, in the province of Goma. Surrounded by nature, you can feel the flow of the river since time go by. A place with these types of characteristics is ideal for doing many kinds of religious practices that reflect Shugendo. Even though these types of practices are disappearing little by little, they still continue to be done consciously. What image do we have of the Shamabushi or the Shugenja? They carry a conch shell. They live in the mountain. They let the water from the waterfalls beat against their bodies while they repeat mantras and do mudras with their hands. In addition, they withstand other religious tests. In spite of the toughness of the practices, there are people who still continue to choose Shugendo as a way of life. This is something that surprises many people. What is Shugendo? It is very difficult to put into words. Throughout history, there have been changes. People have changed, and that is why Shugendo has changed with the times. What we do not know, if it was widespread taking on other forms, or if it has lost force. It is really something complicated to understand. In Japan, there is a belief that when someone dies, their soul goes to the mountain. It is a belief that there is a great Shugendo influence. There is influence that comes from the other Buddhist religions like Doio and especially Mikyo, and also from Shinto. All of us believe that we are developed between the spiritual and corporal. In spite of the changes that come about, the real importance, the truth about Shugendo, the fundamental is the basic essence has not changed. There are other religions that look for the same truth as Shugendo. Shugendo, just as the dry earth, absorbs in a natural way some of the aspects of other religions. Its origin is in the mountain. From ancient times up to the present life, the development of the Japanese is based on the exploitation and cultivation of the land, making it more comfortable for the people to live. We go back into times during the period when man lacked the present advancement, and the night was truly dark, during which the typhoons and storms used to bring about real disasters to the people. The Japanese who lived on the plains used to see the mountain as a world to which perhaps they could never return to. The mountain had something special, unexplainable, and mysterious. Some people search, some want to comprehend, go deep and feel something more within themselves. So the origin of the force is something beyond our understanding. Even though we stop to think about it, we are not even conscious of possessing that force. That is why the soul that suffers from everyday life looks for something else. That is why they go to the mountain in search of peace. That is how devotion to the mountain began. The mountain has always been there, and only some people go to her, others do not. The difficulty of the trip, the sights of the mountain heights that are seen in the horizon, the small spots of colors that can be hardly seen in the distance. The mountains is out of the world and extracts our maximum qualities and faculties, awakening our feelings and emotions that lie sleeping within each one of us. Man originally has the soul of Buddha, pure soul. In our present society in which we live, we do not use our maximum capacities. The mountain is the perfect scenery for rebirth, which will enable us to bring out those qualities that lie in a dormant state. For the ascetic or hermit, people who are on the learning path of virtue towards purification and cleanliness, the sound of the wind, the sound of the streams coming down the valley, the birds singing, all of them are fundamental part of the teaching of the religious doctrine. The most severe religious Shiojiro practice that are done in the mountain of Utaka end with the ceremony of Gama. Next, we will see one of them that is very tough. It is said that it's so tough that it is similar as to being near death. It takes place when the weather is good. It is cold. There is also a representation of the god Fudomio. He is capable of keeping the devil and suffering away. He is always represented with the face of someone who is mad. The people who will participate in the ceremony of the waterfall, or Doio, meet in a sitting position. The people go towards the waterfall and go into the water. Because of the low temperature, some of them cannot continue walking and find themselves having to stop. Only those who can resist can continue on towards the waterfall while they pray using mantras. Finally, they get below the water. Time is like suspended. You do not exactly feel the cold. You feel as if suffering through the skin, and then that suffering brings out the force that is within us. You feel a totality. You lose your individuality. You are part of everything. This sacrifice is done by the Sanjuin every month. There are some who do sacrifices that are even tougher, where they get to the limit of the spiritual and corporal, and you can even encounter death when doing this. What would happen if someone fasted without leaving the minimum space of a tatami, which is almost completely dark where you cannot see your fingers? It is not even the size of half a tatami, that is 88 by 88 centimeters and 2 meters in depth. Can you maintain common sense for a long time in this situation? This act is called Dojo. After fasting for 10 days, the Shugendo goes down into a small opening below the earth where light does not enter. He only takes water and will be there for 10 days. That is a total of 20 without eating, which is a sacrifice within a sacrifice, doubling the toughness of the test. While he does this, around the opening there is a kekai or rope on which there are white papers hanging that symbolizes the space within being purified, and he is not allowed to meet anyone. 2 times a day there is a check to see if the person is well, done by asking from the outside. At a given moment, they got to the conclusion that the ascetic or hermit had gotten to the limit based on the sound of his voice and on his answers. But the master of the ascetic decided to continue the test a little more. During this part of the test, there is always a little danger. If this critical point is overcome, they can withstand a little more without putting their lives on the line that is in danger. This is something for which they still have not found an explanation. The partners who are on the outside also suffer and make sacrifices. They pray continuously so that everything can go well. It is solidarity with the person who is going through the modification and done as if they themselves were going through the same thing. This is characteristic of the Shugendo: help, live, eat and learn together. And if they were all in, as if they were all one person. This is Shugendo. Be Buddha in union with the rest. After 10 days, they cut the kekai or rope that formed the area of sacrifice. There are things that cannot be learned without sacrifice. No one can live by himself. You need to be helped by others. This is something given to us. This is not only a spiritual sacrifice, you also have to take your body and spirit to the limit and confront life and death. The object is to leave this world behind, the world where we have to fulfill, of empty words, lacking feelings. Even though you cannot avoid being inside of it, if you do not suffer in it, life and death does not make any sense. To get to this point, you need strength and sacrifice. The ascetic returns from the world of darkness, from the world of obscurity, a world we cannot imagine. He carries a handkerchief covering his eyes. Anyway, it is very dark, right?
目を開いていても閉じていても全く同じ状況なんですね。これは非常に奇妙というか
Yes, it does not matter if you have your eyes open or
非
closed.
常に嫌なもんですね。だんだん締め付けられてくるという、まあ、闇の
It is the same darkness.
というんですか。
It is a very strange
そうい
situation.
う感じはすごく
It does not seem to be reality.
その言えばいいんでしょうかね。多分分かってもらえないとしか言いよう
It
が
is
ない。
very unpleasant.
一週間
Bit by bit, I felt the darkness overpowering
そん
me.
なことは後で知ったんですけど、本山の方から
Well, I do not think anyone can understand it.
来たんらしいんですが、住職がまあ
After coming out, I realized that 1 week was my limit.
入る前にね、一応衣装を済まされま
In
す
theory, I was going to be there for 10 days.
4日目か5日目頃に
I would not have been able to withstand anymore.
だけども、まあちょうど般若心経唱え
It seemed that headquarters had said to take me out,
ってどんなもんかわかん
but
ない
my master decided for me to continue with it.
見ようがないですし、思わずも何ももう
In addition, before I was put into the hole, I had to read my will.
すると、なんていうんですかね、この時になんか光
From the
が
fourth day
お腹
to the
の
seventh,
中から
I felt it was my limit. I was
前
praying.
方から額の方に入ってきたのか、それとも後ろ
Although I do
の
not know
から
what it is to be crazy, I thought I would go crazy at any
ど
moment.
っから来たのか、もう体の中から来たのか、外から来たの入ってきたのかすらも
All of a sudden, I cannot explain it. In that moment, a light appeared from the area of my stomach.
体の中の光が
I do not know if it came from the inside or from the outside.
というんですか、その光がまあとにかく
That light surrounded me. It was then, in that moment, when I came out of the crisis, the moment in which I was.
というか落ち着いたというか、もうちょっと
I thought I was going crazy and I began to calm myself down.
助かったというか
I felt saved.
死んでましたから、あれ下手したら、下手するも何も絶対死んでました。壁に頭ぶちつけて
I
死ん
felt
でました。
as if I had
そ
died,
れはもう断言できます。
as if I had died bashing my head against the walls.
皆さんが
Nothing mattered.
私のために
I am sure it was the light that saved me.
もちろん穴の中にも聞こえてきましたときはありがたかったですね。
Thanks to everyone for having prayed for me. There were times I could hear it from the hole.
本当に
I want to thank you with all my heart.
と
I realized that a person cannot overcome this test by himself. He needs help from others.
をかけたというか、迷惑をかけたというか、心配させすぎたというか、特に住職の奥さんは、
I was told that my master, Yushoko, was very worried, and most of all his wife.
毎日、住職も一度
I know that the day when I took longer to answer, the person who called me 2 times asking about my health was affected.
返事が遅れたんですね。
The heart of the master's wife was also affected. That is what I was told.
冷水をぶっかけられたような感じだったそうです。
Are you all right? Maybe I'm all right. I do not know. I know I was about to go crazy. That is for sure. Was there any light entering? A little light entered the first 2 or 3 hours. Then nothing. It was completely dark. Good. We will let you rest.
じゃあもうね休んでもらいます。はい。
Now that everything is over, are you all right?
終わってほっとしたところでございます。やはり暗いところに長時間いたということで。
Since you're in darkness for a long time, you can run the risk of losing your sight upon coming out.
するわけでございます。失明のすることがあると言われていますね。
That is why they all come out at night. Once you are outside, being that you are well in the night, after sleeping all night, you will be well the following day.
明日の朝にはもう回復する予定でございます。この途業ということもいわゆる
It is the most severe practice.
数えられているわけですけれども、孤独と
It is an act to get to the truth, Satoru. Reach full knowledge. You look at yourself, and in meditation, you focus on the darkness, hunger, and solitude.
瞑想にふけって、そして即身即仏といういわゆる厳しい修行なのでございます。実を言うと、この10日間っていうのは近代は許されていない時間なんです。この道場の主として。
Nowadays, fasting more than 10 days is not permitted.
のごとくお世話をさせてもらおうということでお受けしたわけなんですけれども。
But I gave him permission to do more time.
とにかく10日間と。
Anyway, when you finish doing the chokyo, it is a relief. The act proved to us that there was a divine help or supernatural.
素晴らしい神がかり的な力だったなと本当にほっとしているところでございます。
In this world, we have 5 senses: the eyes to see, touching, the ears to hear, etc. But in the spiritual world, there is another sense that goes beyond what is human. Due to sensorial isolation, all of our attention is focused on the inside. This takes us to a state where consciousness is altered, where earthly existence disappears and you penetrate into the mysteries and unconscious. Finally, you can get to a level where you enter yourself on what is essentially oneself, the original I or ego. According to his biography, this is the conclusion that he arrived to priesthood of high virtue, enogyoja. This is the mysterious experience before, and it can occur more than once in life, even though not a lot. At the end, after a few days, they go to celebrate the ceremony of Kashu Zenmai, which consists in going through fire. Before this is done, they do the Sijin Keshai in the temple of Sanjin, that is, abstain from smoking, drinking alcohol, eating meat and fish. You can only eat vegetables, etc. This is combined with the fast. All of this lasts a total of 21 days. It sounds easier than it is. It lasts for many days, during which you get to a state of great tension and anxiety and attack of abhorring. The objective of these sacrifices is not to increase patience or stamina. That level is reached thanks to the help that comes from beyond. In some of the religious texts, they say you do not have to hold on in Sojin Geshai. But there are others who say, do not get caught up in not trying to hold on by holding on. Sojin Keshai symbolizes the desire of the ascetic to purify with divine help, rather than doing a great sacrifice like the Kasho Zanmai. Today is Kashun Zanmai Day, and the new Shugendo has also entered. Lately, it seems as though the number of Shugendo adepts is increasing within the world of religion. I gratefully receive this. Shugendo originally is a system of ideas that are constant, immortality and eternity. The base of Shugendo does not change. In our times, there are many changes. But that which is taught in Shugendo is also valid for this moment. That is seen by the amount of adepts. Now the Shugendo practitioner has a normal life. They use mobile phones, wear watches, go by car, and among them are housewives, professors, employees, etc. Ordinary people.
宗教の世界はこう精神修行なんで、肉体も修行できると思うんだけど、その精神
I think the world of religion is a place to purify the spirit and the flesh.
なんて言うんだろう。
If I can change the spirit, I believe I will be capable of changing anything.
何でも変えられるっていうそういう感じなんですけど、ただどこまでできるかは、ちょっと
Well, I do not know how far I can go, but I will try with all my willpower.
本当に
I believe I will be able to obtain something if I practice for 10 years. I will find something I'm looking for within myself. Shugendo used to be practiced popularly. Chigojambushi is a ceremonial march with children who are less than 10 years old, in which the children show their respect to the divine. It is done, the burial service, in the main room of the temple of Goma, of Gosin Kojo. Many of the practices begin and end with the ceremony called Goma. Also, Kasho Zanmai happens before this type of ceremony. Next, there is a recitation of prayers to call upon the divinity. The result of the ceremony of Goma is to obtain divine illumination. They enter accompanied by the sound of the conch shell. This sound tells the gods that the ceremony is beginning. A group called Shuku Sendatsu, or those that direct the ritual, enter. They check to find out and see if the Shugendo is real or false by using a test of questions and answers, Shamabushi Mondo. In our times, this is the ceremony to find out how the Shugwenja is. What is Shambushi Mondo? The master asks important questions about his knowledge and the apprentice responds, which tells how near he is to Buddha. Among other things, is to learn at what point on the path of learning is the learner. Even though we are polluted, in the depth of our heart there is purity, and it is near Buddha. It is to get rid of the low passions and doubts with the help of Fudomio, the second ugly god of Budo. It is a ceremony to protect yourself, to keep the demons away. 6 arrows are thrown at the door of the demon called Kiman, who is situated at the northeast, the 4 corners, and to the center. It is a way of receiving. Gomagi symbolizes the tree of wisdom, and with the axe they cut the broken branches of the tree so they can grow again. It is a vision of the world that received the Goma, or wisdom of the mountain, or the world of Buddha. This is where they ask God for peace for the world, the nation, and the state. The Shugendo do not create controversy, but rather he is an ascetic. It is a religion that does not have any doctrine nor secret written books. Any ascetic who has profoundly studied will get to the truth without the need of reading any sacred books. Shugendo is not a world of words or idea. Anyone can get to the truth. An original Sanskrit boundary is being written in the air with fire. In a word, the mandala is being made. The truth of the universe, which symbolizes the substance of the law of Buddhism. This action establishes the sacred circle around the fire, which is characterized by the change of the speed in the writing. There are 3 degrees, Jo, Ha, and Kyo. Watch when crossing the fire. You have to cross it barefoot. Anyone can cross it respecting this. As the Shugenjas cross the fire, they experience the state of Buddha. Nothing about Shugendo can be understood through reason. There is only one truth, and we were born with it within. Shugendo is something that has to be felt with the spirit and by the means of the flesh, thanks to the sacrifices and personal experiences. That is why it cannot be understood if you have not experienced it personally. That is, experience it both as practice and training sacrifice, as well as other experiences. You must also visit the places where these ceremonies take place. From ancient time, the flames have burnt everything. Water purifies the impurities and the mountain stands erect, immutable. Nothing has changed. What has changed is the life of man and the hearts of the people. Now that we are in the age of science, the path of Shugendo is open to the whole world.